So how do you use jobs to be done? There are basically three questions that you need to ask, okay? Or three questions that are really good to ask. One is competing solutions. Again, in the milkshake example, when you think of competing solutions, you'll understand what are the parameters that are important to the user. What else are they hiring? Who else are they hiring to do it? So one example is like maybe changing price on the milkshake wouldn't work because let's say the competitors were like, a competitor's milkshake, then maybe there's price sensitivity. But here, like the alternative is like a bagel. So your price probably doesn't have a lot to do with it. So just understanding competing solutions will get you a bit better framing of what what's important to the user. So that's a good way. Um, the first thought thing, yeah. So this one is really interesting. So you basically want to ask the user, what was the first time that you thought about ordering this thing or buying this thing or hiring a solution here? Because what often happens is the user will have some kind of need, okay, and then they'll stick with that need for a little while, and at some point they'll come up with a solution in their head, and then they'll go out and look for that solution. So I'm hungry, okay, whatever. I'm gonna wait a little bit of time, and now I'm at McDonald's, and now I need to pick something. So you don't want to ask them, why did you buy the milkshake and not the burger? What you want to understand is what the first where was the genesis of this thought, and that'll give you a lot more context around maybe what the real problem is. So just walking the user back to when was the first time you thought about hiring something for the solution is a really powerful way to surface these kind of hidden things. Broader context, generally like, you know, how is the user feeling? Are there other stakeholders? So in the milkshake example, there's no other stakeholders involved, right? But they're probably super hungry. There is external stakeholder in that maybe they have a boss and they need to get to work on time. What's the stuff that's happening around? So you want to dig down and then dig around as well, to understand kind of what's important to the user, what feelings are there. One really kind of neat thing is to follow any strong feelings, positive or negative. Strong feelings are a sign that there's some kind of need being surfaced there. And the stronger they are, the more basic and kind of, high demand the need is. Um, there's one really good example from a Google design sprint where they were trying to help a company have good meetings with senior leadership who would quit following the appointment of a new CEO. So a new CEO would get appointed for each country in this company, and then all the senior leadership would quit in that country because they knew they couldn't become CEO. And so this company is trying to figure out how do we actually have that conversation so that people don't quit. So they, did the whole design sprint stuff. If you haven't read Design Sprint, by the way, it's by Jason Knapp or something like that. It's a fantastic book. If you want to talk about like just discovery, like that's really, really good. So really recommend that book. I think it's in the slide below. Yeah, so they were trying to figure out, so they came up with a bunch of solutions, they ran those solutions, and then none of them had a good outcome. And essentially, people were kind of sad that, oh, we couldn't find a solution that worked. But then the facilitator was like, okay, tell me about rooms or tell me about situations where there were really strong feelings coming up. Like even negative is fine, but it shows that something that's really important to the person is being surfaced and it's not being met in that context, but that need doesn't change. And so follow strong feelings wherever they are. And in the Madman example, you'll see the users doing these, giving out these hints of things that they're feeling very strongly, and those are kind of interesting things to dig into.